Joining us here at the table to talk about all of what we just saw there with Michael Cohen is former Manhattan Assistant District Attorney Jeremy Saland, and back with us, our senior legal affairs correspondent, Paula Reed. Jeremy, I wanted to start with you on a broad outlook of this, but you have a lot of thoughts.
I have
on that
many
interview.
thoughts. The first one is, what is he doing? Now that there have been charges filed under seal, he is one of the key witnesses in this case. We know from our sources that prosecutors are already unhappy about some of the interviews that Michael Cohen has given, particularly when he has tried to rebut arguments in the court of public opinion. Now, he also said there that after Attorney Robert Costello went in and attacked his credibility, that they didn't need to rebut that. That's not true. We know from our reporting that prosecutors were a little bit thrown by Costello's testimony, and they believed they had to button up that case. We saw David Pecker go before the grand jury earlier this week, and apparently there was another witness who we don't know. Now, I will note, when I reached out to Robert Costello last night for comment, I mean, you know, he's a chatty. He's a chatty one. Loves to talk, loves to comment. He said, I cannot comment on this case right now because I am a potential witness. And that is a big difference right now between Michael Cohen and Robert Costello. Look, Michael Cohen has a First Amendment right. He's absolutely a key player in this, but he could also be a key witness in a prosecution of the former president. Doing this, great get, by the way, great interview.
Thank you.
But for him, I have a feeling he's going to get a call from prosecutors today.
This is what his attorney says. Lanny Davis says that, well, you may think of him as the key witness, but there are 3 or 4 people who will back up what he says. So therefore, as you said, it's his First Amendment right to be able to talk about this. So he doesn't see it as a big deal or detrimental to the case that Michael Cohen is out doing interviews.
That is naive.
Preposterous. It's ridiculous. I can imagine, as you just said, the district attorney's office must be livid. You don't start singing and showing your anger and being glib to help build your credibility and keep a consistent story, because the more you talk and the more you say, the more there's chances that you're going to say something that's going to come back and bite that case, and that's not what they want.
Walk through for people joining us just this morning. They've just read the headlines of the papers. What we're looking at here, because we have to remind people this is uncharted legal territory. This is an untested legal case to tie potential federal charges to a state crime. And you also have the possibility of a judge either downgrading it, saying no, misdemeanor, or throwing it out. How high is the bar? How hard is this to get a conviction?
Well, to start off, it's that reasonable cause to believe that a felony was committed or a crime was committed for the grand jury, and that's not a very high bar.
Right.
But to your point, there's a much higher bar, proof beyond a reasonable doubt at trial. So the lesser crime is just that there was an intent to defraud, and that there was false entries made in the business records of that organization. That's fairly easy to say and easy to do. But to your point again, what is that other crime that would elevate this to the felony? And that is uncharted territory. And I would imagine a lot of this delay, and I use that in quotes because it's not really a delay, it's doing your homework and doing your job. A lot of that is figuring out, can this case go forward on the theory that we're charging or we're looking at a federal statute to be the basis of that crime?
We don't know what's in it. It's sealed.
So
we don't know what the charges are specifically.
Of course not. There certainly could be other crimes, but you're not going into that grand jury assuming or looking for a misdemeanor.
Yeah, because we weren't even looking at Karen McDougal. Remember that last week I said, Poppy, I said, you know, this is possibly beyond Stormy Daniels. We don't know exactly what Alvin Bragg is going to do. We don't even know what's in there specifically. There is reporting, I know, and from very credible sources. John Miller, who is, you know, just the best that you can get when it comes to these situations, especially with the reporting. But still, we don't know exactly what's in that. And what my sources say, I would warn you to stop saying that this is a weak case, because Alvin Bragg would not do this if it was a weak case. Or it's a difficult case, sorry.
It is, isn't it?
To prove, because you don't know what's in these charges.
Well, to your point, I don't know if it's a difficult charge to prove, but I do know that if it was solely on the shoulders of Michael Cohen, there would be concern. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't imagine the district attorney's office would be that naive or foolish. These are experienced prosecutors who have been around the block many, many times, that they understand that, and they're looking at either evidence to corroborate or evidence and charges beyond what we're thinking.
And a lot of documents, I'm told.
Absolutely.
Or documents to support these charges.
Yeah, we'll see what those documents look like and see what the charges ultimately look like. Jeremy and Paul, thank you both for joining us here at the Crack of Dawn this morning as we break down all of these really important
Not
headlines.
even close to dawn yet, right?
Yeah, I don't
You
even
say
know.
dawn,
Yeah.
they said.
All right, as this is all coming out, and you see this is in the headlines today, many Republican leaders are rallying behind Trump. They are coming out publicly and forcefully. We'll tell you what his allies on Capitol Hill are saying. That's next.
Including right here on CNN, some of them were on last night.
We also have more developments on this man, the American journalist, waking up behind bars in Russia this morning. We're going to hear from one of the few people, Trevor Reed, who knows what he is going through right now.
I didn't see a lot of air, Caitlin, as I was getting ready.